And so it begins, America. So it begins. New York, you got to get the out of here. Get the hell out now. 2 nights ago on the Harlem River Drive, I saw the cops running a checkpoint. Now, there might have been an accident. There might have been a crime. There might have been this. There might have been that, but we got to get out. Now, I've been warning us, and my own instincts have been going like this for ever since I moved back here in 2017. It's been freaking me out on what's happening. Just from my housing activism, I could see it, and I understood what was happening and how powerful, just how powerful the communists are. But you know, I've been going on and on and on about how the rent moratorium, all that's going to do to August now, all that's going to do is give us more and more of a reason to not go to work and more of a reason for the government to take over housing, base your nice house based on your social credit score. And now what they're going to do is they're going to force us to stay home. And now what they're going to do is they're going to be the only purchaser for food in New York State, and they're going to take over the whole goddamn food supply. You need to quit. You need to get at. I don't care about your fucking anxiety attack, okay? I don't really give a shit that you're trying to protect yourself from having a goddamn anxiety attack. I could give two shits. Start fucking having one right now. Right now. Okay? Now, a lot of people might be socialists. A lot of people might be leftist. Okay? But a lot of people, when it comes down to it, when push comes to shove, and you say, well, Marxism, then they go, okay, that's too much. No, there's a big difference between socialism and Marxism. We're not Marxists, all right? Share screen. Okay, let's do this. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, we just started the screen share, all right? So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look at what Cuomo says today. At a time when people are hungry, I thought we had food stamps and everything was fine and our whole taxation system completely solved hunger and the $84 billion a year was completely good. And the $6 billion a year New York State's been spending on it has been a wonderful thing. That's the impression I was under. At a time when people are hungry, it makes no sense for food or milk to go to waste. Oh, gee, really? We launched a program to buy excess agricultural products and donate them to food banks. So we are going to keep you out of work. And now we are the ones that are going to be the economic stream. Okay? We're going to be the economic stream for the farms. We will bring products from 2,100 upstate farms to 50 food banks, providing 20,000 households of food. 20,000? That's it? That's it? When's my unemployment coming, buddy? That trap. New York State will extend the moratorium on evictions for facing COVID-related hardships for an additional 60 days until August 20th. Today, we are banning late fees and missed payment fees during the eviction moratorium period. We are also allowing renters facing COVID-related hardships to use their security deposit as payment and repay their deposits over time. Oh, gee, thanks. You are slowly making it completely unworth it for these landlords to own property, and they are going to be cutting bait as soon as they can. And then you're going to use our social credit score to decide where we're going to live, if we're even allowed to live at all, you motherfucker. Okay, now let's look at the 10 planks of communism, and let's see how well they've done. And let's see, maybe I could. Is that better? Okay, that's better. Fine, we fixed that problem. A little technical difficulty. Let's go through it. Okay, one, that's the hero, the Marxist. He's been involved in this for a long time, okay? Since 1848, since the days of Tammany Hall, Karl Marx has had this city by the balls, and you need to wake up to that, okay? We are living in a Marxist model, and this is the final punch, and you need to wake up to that, okay? Abolition of private property and the application of rent to public purpose. Hello? Have you read Ilhan Omar's bill? Hello? Don't you see what this creep is doing? A heavy graduated progressive income tax. Yeah, wait. Wait until you're not an essential worker and the state is paying for everything and you dare to work in whatever is left of the private market, if there's anything. Wait to see how much they're going to tax you. Whew. The abolition of rights of all inheritance. Well, the kids couldn't take over the farm. The farmers aren't like the farmers used to be, and the people were going hungry. Of course, the state had to take over the farm. Confiscation of property rights for immigrants and rebels. Well, welcome to being a rebel. Welcome to being a rebel. If you don't want your blood taken, if you don't want to bend to the need of the satanic creep, welcome to being a rebel. Centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of national bank with a state capital and exclusive monopoly. An exclusive monopoly, Cuomo is doing that. Centralization of the means of communication and transportation in the hands of the state. Keep that in mind. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something in a second here. We're just going to go through the last four are relevant, but this one and number one are the real. Those are they really needed to get these two done, and they're going to do it. You watch. You watch. Extensions of factories and instruments of the production owned by the state to bring cultivation of wastelands, blah, 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 improve soil in accordance to a common plan. Okay, blah. You know, that's some 1840s stuff, but it's all relevant. You can tie it in, trust me. Equal liability of all labor. Establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. Well, guess what? If we can't bring in migrant farmers, if people in the city are going hungry, and if you think you're going to get your $600 a week in unemployment, well, guess what? You better join one of these industrial armies or you ain't getting that $600. I'll tell you that much right now. Combination of agriculture with manufacturing industries. Gradual abolition of the distinction between town and country by a more equitable distribution of the population over the country. Bill Gates would love that, wouldn't he? Free education for all children in government schools. Abolition of children's factory labor. That sounds great. It's about the only comforting thing, right? Let's go here. Combination of education with industrial production. Whoo. Okay, so remember I took you up to 6. Centralization of the means of communication and transportation. You know, the almighty MTA, the one thing that's spreading this goddamn virus, the one thing that he won't shut down. You know, effective Georgism, get them at the tolls, get them at the tolls. You know, they're gonna clamp down the exits. That's why I brought a kayak, just in case. They are going to clamp it down. Get ready. Get ready. But here, communication. Is anybody familiar with what happened with the housing laws this year? The housing laws were out of control. Yeah, just absolutely ridiculous what happened with the housing laws and the rent control for all and all that nonsense here in New York City. And what you upstaters don't realize, it's New York State. This is a statewide thing. And that was all driven home by Julia Salazar. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at Julia Salazar's tech platform, okay? You read through it, require high-speed, affordable internet. I guess she's the queen of 5G, right? Advocate the rights for a gig and contract workers by extending the collective bargaining rights, minimum wage, and other attending protections. Okay. She's great. Provide resources for formation of platform co-ops, apps to compete with Uber, Seamless, or TaskRabbit, but owned and operated by the workers providing services through them. Owned and operated by the state. They're not going to let some little nobody. They're not going to let some kid start his own startup. Are you kidding me? Well, those days are over. Those days are over. Help pass a modern New York Electronic Communications and Privacy Act to rein in on electronic surveillance capabilities of law enforcement in conjunction with cable and social media companies. Okay, this is where the left is an absolute expert in gaslighting the balls off of you. Okay, they're like, ow. A modern New York Electronic Communications and Privacy Act to rein in electronic surveillance capabilities of law enforcement in conjunction with cable and social media companies. Ow! Demand that tech companies pay their fair share in taxes instead of giving the tech industry tax breaks and incentives and getting little in return. These companies must contribute like the rest of us. We should then reinvest. So they're going to steal the money from the existing cable and tech companies. We should then reinvest that money in public tech jobs, infrastructure, and tools that allow the state of New York, to compete technologically with private companies and become self-reliant. So they throw in all these wonderful things, right? And they tell you that you to have startups. Oh, Uber, Lyft, Seamless. Yeah, you'll be able to have it. Yeah, you'll be able to work there. But instead of Uber being the big daddy getting all the money and some creep in Germany and all the money going to China, and it's going to sound great and you're all going to fall for it. All that money is going to go to Cuomo. But really, the state taking over the internet grid, really, tools to allow the state of New York to compete technologically with private companies and become self-reliant, and then to tell us that they're going to pass New York Electronic Communications and Privacy Act to rein in on the electronic surveillance capabilities of law enforcement? Get up. I mean, this is what they need to really up the ante on their tracer army that's going to come around and get us. Wake up, people. Wake up. Please, wake up. This is not a time of, okay, this is going to be okay. This is going to be safe. Everything's going to be fine. God's going to take care of us. This is a simple case of we are fucked. The devil breached the gate, and we need to start fighting, and we need to start fighting fast. You people need to wake up. The Bolsheviks marched through New York City and took it over. And you have a choice. The smart choice is to get the fuck out of here. The other choice is to fight. But if you conform, if you cower like the scared rodent in the woods, and you stand still and you hope the predator leaves, the predator isn't leaving, okay? It's not leaving. Wake up.